I'm John, and tonight I want answers about the January 6th committee on investigating the attack on the Capitol. There's no stopping us now, because we're live.
I'm John Thompson.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Loretta Beavers.
I'm AJ Minnick.
I'm Jennifer Sim.
I'm Jim too.
I'm Bobby Chastain. These stories tonight on John Wants Answers.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says July 14th, 2022, then we're live. My guest tonight is Keith Stattenfield. How you doing, Keith?
Okay.
Okay.
Can we make sure everyone in the credits is still alive? I mean, it's been like more than 2 years since we've seen some of them, and they might have died from COVID.
You think so?
Well,
I don't know anybody who's died of COVID.
oh, I do.
Do you do?
Yeah, like my sister-in-law's father died of COVID.
Oh. Was he vaccinated?
Well, stepfather. Yeah, he was.
Oh. No, that's
He's
too bad.
old.
Old guy? How old?
Old.
Old enough that he would have died without the COVID?
Well, I got bad news for you, John. Mm-hmm. You're old enough that you could have died without the COVID.
I could still die without the COVID.
Yeah.
But I don't think his name is in the credits for our show.
No, it's not. No, I would have noticed that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you should follow up. Because, like, that could be triggering.
Well, we have a crew who updates. Like, it should only be people in the room who are in the credits.
Well, a lot of them, but not all of them. Like, there are some people in the credits that we haven't seen for more than 2 years.
The guy who wrote one of the theme songs is in the credits.
Him too. Well, he's alive.
Jonathan Mann, I think he's
he
alive.
tweets every freaking day about NFTs. He's
Okay.
alive.
Timothy Drury.
Still alive. I
think
wish
he's
him a
still
happy
alive.
birthday. He wished me a happy birthday on my birthday a couple
Really?
days ago. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we're great friends.
Well, that's nice. I wish
In
him a happy
that,
birthday.
in that he wishes me happy birthday
Yes.
on Facebook.
I think it's all the people who aren't here who get in the credits.
We haven't seen Bobby in 2 years. They would have told us if Bobby was dead.
He's not in the credits, though. Like, he's in the opening sequence.
He's in the opening sequence. I meant the opening sequence.
Oh, you mean them people?
Yeah, those
Well,
people.
Your wife was in it. She's still
Yeah,
alive?
she's still alive. I spoke
I
with her
heard she's
earlier
hanging
tonight.
on. I heard
She's, fingers crossed.
she's hanging on
Fingers crossed.
at death's
I would
door.
be very sad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Jim Twu,
We don't know.
he won't get the jab, and he got COVID.
I heard he won't get the jab.
So he could be dead. Well, he was just arguing with me on Facebook. So
Okay,
he's not
he's
dead
alive.
now.
He's alive. Okay,
He's alive.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is that good to know?
Let's say yes.
He's a right-wing nut. Let's just say that.
That's you, not me.
You disagree?
No, I don't disagree. I'm just.
Well, tonight's a special night.
Is it?
We are on the James Webb Observatory telescope in space.
Wow.
So here's a window behind me.
So we're like 1,000,000 miles from Earth right now.
Yeah, we're pretty far.
But
There might be a
somehow
bit-
we're live, even though like
There's
the
a
speed
lag.
of light would be
Honestly, there's a lag between us being live and
like
the station getting it. So we
gonna-
started half hour earlier than usual because we're on the space station.
because we're on the space.
But then
it's
station's
not a station. It's more like a satellite.
Yeah. So behind you, I've noticed behind you, in the window
Yes.
behind you,
Yes.
it looks cloudy in space.
It does.
Now,
it's
I don't want to
foggy.
think
We say foggy. It's space foggy.
it's not clouds though. Like, what is that?
It's space dust.
Dust?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly hydrogen and helium.
Yeah. That makes water.
No.
No, it doesn't.
No. That makes hydrogen and helium.
Okay. Helium. See, you have to go to space to get the helium because it's leaving Earth, I heard. And now we can't make balloons.
Well, the
anymore.
free helium. Although we do make our own helium on the planet.
We
Very
make
slowly.
It's being produced by the Earth somehow?
Yeah. Radioactive decay in the Earth's crust
Okay.
causes the emission of helium, which slowly percolates up through the crust, through cracks, collects in caves, which is how we get it.
Oh, okay.
But
and we
then,
use too much of
when
her
we-
balloons for
we
her
put it in
birthdays.
balloons. It.
What do the
event-
scientists need it for?
It's very handy because you can get it really cold,
Mm-hmm.
and then therefore you can use it to like super cool equipment and shit.
Oh. So they need it more than birthday parties do.
Yeah, I would rather have MRIs than helium balloons.
Oh, MRIs need it.
I think MRI machines have
I've had
helium in them.
MRIs and I've had birthdays.
Wow.
So I'm a huge consumer of helium.
you are. You're the reason.
I'm usually can't have good
Yeah,
birthdays
well, plus
anymore.
the older you get, like when you're 7, you get 1 helium balloon and it's a 7. Like for
Yeah.
us, we get 2
Two
helium balloons.
and they're big. They're not like one. It's like
Yeah, and they're
5.
big. It's like
and,
it's a 5 and a 6.
You just had a birthday.
I did. Yes.
Saturday.
Correct.
5 and a
Big.
6.
Yeah, 5 and a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting my first 5. No, I'm getting my.
Your second 5? Your third 5? How many 5s have you got?
Well, I was
Okay, let's
5, 15, 25, 35, 45. Now I'm getting the first 5 that's
First
in front.
initial 5 after 5.
After 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're bigger than the ones, right? It's 5 is like.
5 is huge.
Anyways, I feel like we're
8s.
we're
8s are
drifting
the
off
worst,
topic.
I think.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of balloon.
It's a lot of helium. It's dust. It's space dust.
I know you don't watch
It's not
the
that
show.
color either.
Oh no,
Yeah, I don't watch the show.
you don't watch the show, but you know who does watch the show?
No, I don't know who watches the show.
All of your
Like,
family members watch the show,
many of them. Some of them watch the show.
and so I get Facebook friend requests from people,
Yes. Okay.
and strangers,
Yes.
and I look into
I
it.
also get Facebook requests from strangers.
But I look into it and I find out, wait a minute, they're related to you.
That could be.
And I've never, well, so I'm going to say I got a friend request from Donna.
Yes.
I'm going to not say her last name.
Sure. Good
and
plan.
Joshua.
Correct. Yes.
Now,
Also, don't say his last name.
I won't say his last
No
name.
one would guess it.
No one will guess it. I think I've met Joshua. Would you say it's true?
It's a good chance you've met Joshua.
Okay. But I've probably never met Donna.
I don't think you have.
Okay. Now, they want to be my friends. Now, what can I expect if I accept a friend request from Donna? Well, I see a lot of posts about knitting or growing vegetables in her garden.
You might
Or-
see
or
an
right-wing
occasional
content.
post about knitting.
Knitting, yeah.
I don't know if you'll see gardening posts.
Okay.
You won't see a lot of posts. I mean, first of all, Facebook's not going to show them to you because, you know, the algorithm.
Okay.
It's going to show you like crazy right-wing stuff.
Because I
And,
argue with that stuff.
Occasional scantily clad models who also want to be your friends.
I get a lot of that.
Yeah. And
Josh?
I don't know if I've ever seen Josh on Face. He's like, he is at the age where he's probably on Facebook because the old people are on Facebook, but he's really on Instagram.
He's been
or-
on Facebook enough to send me a friend request.
Well,
You know,
he's seen the show, so he knows you're lonely.
he sees I got a friend who makes up shit all the time.
Well, yeah, that would be
That's-
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not lonely.
Could be
What can I
lonely.
expect from Joshua? Like basically no
I
posts?
don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a post from him. It gets the algorithm. You know, it doesn't want to show me my family's posts.
Well, no offense to them, but I'm not going to take their friend request.
Good plan. Yeah, that's
Good
very
plan?
reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, you've only got, how many hours in the week are you not working? Oh, wait, all of them. All of them.
All
Yeah.
the hours I'm
Yeah,
free.
you've only got all that free time to not look at other people's Facebook pages
I have to spend my time arguing with people who are wrong on the internet.
on the internet. Yeah,
Yes.
that's Reddit, though.
That's Reddit?
Yeah,
That
Reddit.
sounds too intense for me.
Oh, you got to get on Reddit.
All right. Our first topic, which is going to be a surprise to the viewers. I didn't mention this up front.
You didn't. No, I'm.
Because
Yes.
I didn't
It
rehearse.
was kind of a surprise to me.
I didn't rehearse the upfront thing until they said, "John, you're on." I'm like, "Oh shit, I
raced
forgot."
in here.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so our first topic is concealed carry. Now, the Supreme Court of these United States.
These days, you've got to say Supreme Court.
Supreme
Court.
of these United States.
No, we don't. They
Well, we're not.
they are actual states. We don't need to.
Okay.
We don't need to bunny ear states.
I'm going to
We-
bunny air the United States. We're not united. We're divided.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You could bunny ear United. I'll accept that.
So the Supreme Court
Supreme
of these
Court of
United
these
States
United States.
has ruled that in New York,
New
they
York.
had a concealed carry law,
Yeah, like for like 100 years.
which they've now said, garbage, can't do it.
Correct. Well, they said, no, they didn't say it's garbage. You can't do it. They said we're sending this back to the lower courts. By the way, it's garbage. You can't do it.
Okay. We're sent back to lower courts, but if they rule
With the direction, hey,
the wrong way.
by the way, this is garbage, you can't do.
Okay.
You should come up with a ruling that's not the ruling you came up with. The ruling you came up with was New York can do this. You were wrong when you thought that.
California.
Rule better.
We're in the space now, but we're based in California.
We are, yes. We are physically in California at the moment.
They also have anti-concealed carry and also open carry laws, right? You can't open carry, nor can you conceal carry without a permit, which you can't get.
California, I don't think there's statewide law that says you just can't do it at all.
Is it
I don't think that was true in New York either. I think it was New York City that particularly had, you really can't do it at all. In California, it's left up to the counties
Or is the
and to
open
the sheriffs
the open
whether you
carry-
can conceal carry with a permit. California does say you have to have a permit to conceal carry.
Okay.
And you can get a permit in California because there are people that have gotten them. There's even a scandal in our county where the sheriff may or may not have been taking cash in
for-
donations to her campaign. And coincidentally, the people who donated to her campaign may have gotten permits to concealed carry.
But she didn't run again. So
She's not running.
So there's money to her campaign.
This is in the past.
in the past. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, if she has campaign money sitting around,
Yes.
and she doesn't run anymore,
Yes.
is that now her money?
No, it's not. No, there are rules.
Whose money is it?
It has to stay in a campaign fund, but she can donate it to another candidate.
Oh.
And I believe you can donate it to charity.
Okay. Do you think she has a concealed carry permit?
Well, she's a law enforcement officer. She has a.
Do all law enforcement officers have that?
I think they have
The cops
right
I've seen
to carry.
have the gun in plain view. It's not
But I
concealed.
think they could have the gun not in plain view,
Okay.
and also not be in violation of the law.
Now, how about open carry? That's also not allowed in California.
I'm less certain of that.
There was these people called the Black Panthers, and they open carried their weapons.
They open carried, and then,
and then
some
Ronald
laws were
Reagan
passed.
said, "This isn't
And Ronald Reagan-
good."
But since then, there have been other court decisions, including the Supreme Court, and I'm not certain if the thing passed in the early 70s, which essentially prohibited open carry of long guns, because you couldn't open carry pistols at the time. That may have been overruled, because I have seen people in California walking around with weapons.
Walking down the street? Are you in a bad neighborhood?
No.
Okay. I don't do that in my street.
I've seen it at, like, protests.
I've never looked out the window.
Well,
I've been to a protest.
you're the
and
one
seen
that lives across from a drug den.
Den's a. I don't know if den's the right word.
Sure.
Drug is the right word.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the den part?
Yeah, I guess that's too.
What a guy. Dispensary. I drive by dispensary. maybe.
An unlicensed dispensary
Unlicensed, yeah.
of unlicensed medication.
Right. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So is this ruling that was for New York going to affect us in California? Or does someone have to launch a lawsuit?
The Supreme Court only sent the case in New York back.
Right.
But Supreme Court rulings are, unless they say otherwise, apply to the whole country. And clearly people and organizations in the other 49 states are going to go to their federal district courts and say, whatever rules my state has, which restrict my ability to carry a weapon to protect myself, fall under this same thing, which the Supreme Court has ruled on, and therefore my state laws should be overturned. So there's a good chance that the permitting regime we have in California, which requires you to get a permit from your sheriff, generally requires you to have taken some educational classes and demonstrated competence, will also be struck down.
Is it common in most states to have restrictions on open or concealed carry?
It's more likely to have restrictions on concealed carry, because the theory is if anyone could be walking around carrying a weapon, and I don't know of it, I'm in more danger than if I can see people have a weapon and therefore do something to leave the area or whatever.
I'm thinking of a pro-gun state like Texas. They have open carry?
They clearly have open carry.
Okay.
I believe Texas in the last 18 months has removed all restrictions on requiring permitting for weapons,
Okay. Sounds
including
dangerous.
handguns. And
I have to go to Galveston, Texas in a few months.
have to?
I have to. I've made obligations.
Wow.
So hope I don't get shot by some guy concealing his weapon.
Yeah.
Or even some guy opening his weapon.
Again, if you do get shot, can I have your stuff?
I've already divvied out my stuff.
What?
You're too rich. To be honest, you're too rich to get my stuff.
That's fair. I mean, that's not, you're not wrong. But, I mean, I would.
What do you
I
want
would
my stuff?
Take care of your stuff.
Of the stuff I have. What
I
would
don't
you
know
want?
any of your stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
I got a nice TV.
maybe the NXS shrine.
You want the NSS Shrine?
Well, I mean,
I don't think you'd be the one interested in that.
I don't know. I am, but you know, now that I know someone else wants it,
It's got.
I want it.
I have records worth $500 or more.
Wow.
Altogether.
That's a lot of money.
I shouldn't be talking about on TV about.
Especially since you
the
live across
vast-
from a unlicensed illegal dispensary.
Yes. Well, now we're on to our main story. Halfway through the show,
Halfway through the show.
our main story is the January 6th committee. Commission. I should have said commission instead of committee, right?
What is a committee?
Okay.
And it's a commission.
So I was going to say, starting last month. So we did a show last month, and that same
every
day,
month it seems we do a show.
same day as the first broadcast session of the January 6th
Yeah.
commission looking into the attack on the Capitol.
Yes. And its after effects.
So when did they start? When did this committee start? Commission.
I think it got formed kind of last springish, late.
So they've been at this for like a year and a quarter maybe,
Yeah.
and they had their first, I guess, open session. Would you call that?
They had plenty of meetings before. They have not intentionally tried to have a lot of those meetings be televised. I mean, most of them are during the day.
Yeah.
Most of them are kind of dry. And they have been having a lot of meetings in secret where they are taking testimony from witnesses.
Right.
And those, by and large, were not in a public conference room. And
So it couldn't be reported on by the press,
well, the press could report that they had a meeting,
but they weren't in the
but
meeting.
they were taking depositions. So it wasn't a
Okay.
public meeting. You couldn't watch the meeting if you weren't a member of the committee
Okay.
or, you know, the people that are testifying can have their lawyer and shit with them.
Okay.
But they took a whole bunch of depositions from people asking questions, and they were all videotaped. And some of the people they deposed more than once because they would bring them back and say,
We heard some shit from somebody else. Can you
yeah,
expand on that?
we've talked to other people and we have more questions for you about the following things, which we have learned, and we want to get your testimony as to what happened.
And you want to take back anything you said
And
before.
a number of people that were called to testify originally said, I'm not going to testify. And they went back and forth with lawyers, and many of those people eventually chose to testify. Some
I've
of the people
seen-
are still fighting their testimony.
I've seen videos of people just saying fifth over and over again.
Well, one guy, yeah.
Not even saying I plead the fifth. They
Yeah,
just say
yeah, just
fifth.
saying fifth. Yeah, it's
'Cause
a
it's-
shorthand.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, but if the police pull you over and you say fifth enough, they just got to let you go.
It's good to know.
Yeah, yeah. Give it a shot the
Next
next
time I get
time
a
you're
speeding
pulled
ticket.
over when you're doing 119 miles an hour.
I was pulled over for doing 65 and a 45.
Wow, that's... Doesn't your car go faster than 65?
Oh yeah, but I
Do
was
you
in
think
45
Do
zone.
you think the police officer's car goes faster than 65?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Does police officer's car go more than 140?
Yeah, they have really good engines in those cars.
Better than mine? Eh.
Maybe.
I have it on good authority.
They,
I have the fastest car you can buy.
wow.
Yeah.
Sure, then why do you have a speeding ticket?
Well, I didn't want to break the law. Well, okay. I didn't want to break the law that much.
Okay, you have your
Misdemeanor-
limits, and
misdemeanor,
your limits
okay.
are 20 miles an hour.
Felony, no, felony is where I draw the line. I can't be
Yeah, you
feloniously
go away
driving.
for a year and a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
Anyway, so we're getting off topic here. So now we're having, it seems like 2 to 3 times a week, these public hearings.
I think 2 hearings a week is probably a good average.
Okay.
They have added a couple, like they added a hearing
special
out of the blue,
Yeah, yeah.
and
They got a special witness and they're like, oh, you got to hear this stuff.
yeah,
Here's some good
that was a
stuff.
heck of a hearing.
Yeah,
Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah, I didn't. I watched it later.
Oh, I
I have
didn't
a
watch
job.
it.
I have a job during the day.
I watch on YouTube later on. So I also didn't watch it
yeah,
live.
yeah, okay.
Because I can't wake up that
You
early.
can fast forward through all the boring parts.
Boring parts. So the first one they had, June 9th,
Sure, okay.
was mostly about showing us what the riot looked like.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
Yeah.
that affected me.
How so?
I knew it was terrible,
Mm-hmm.
and then I watched it, and I was again reminded a year later that it was terrible. But I watched it live. I was sitting in my
Live
little office.
January 6th.
January 6th.
20.
I was sitting in my office. I got my TV
Mm-hmm.
on the wall over there,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "Today's the day they're mumble selecting the president."
Mm-hmm.
And I knew there had, it was Trump. We knew all kinds of stuff had been going on, so I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm just gonna turn on my C-SPAN, and I'm gonna see what's going on.
I remember
And
we
I-
had a series on this show called Who is the President? And it normally should have been a 1-segment short.
Should have been a very
Piece.
short.
We had that segment on for like 3 or 4 months in a row.
Yeah, it was.
Up
yeah.
until finally the January, we said, well, they met, Congress met, and now they're trying to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's,
But yeah, no, I watched it. I think I had C-SPAN on originally, and then C-SPAN was. C-SPAN is boring, right? It's only the House of Congress, and then the little texts were like, "You won't believe what's going outside." So I had to switch over to CNN
so
or
C-SPAN doesn't have the cameras
MSNBC.
outside.
They don't, no, because they're only allowed to see the House chamber.
Oh,
See, C-SPAN is controlled by C-SPAN 1 is controlled by the House. C-SPAN 2 is controlled by the Senate. And they have the rules, but the camera can only point at the lectern, and
really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's insane. So I turned on a real news station, and then I was like, ah!
I think I got news alerts
2 or
on my
3
phone
hours.
for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first episode,
But even then, even seeing it then, seeing it live,
'cause
you
we saw
had no
more
clue
views.
how
what they
how
showed us,
terrifying it would have been in that
Yeah.
building, and people bashing through windows with flagpoles and climbing through windows that had been cracked open, because that's how you get into the Capitol. Everyone knows that.
now I know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that before, but I do now.
yeah, and they had the police officers that testified, and yeah,
Then the second hearing, I guess,
Sure.
was we heard evidence that Trump and his advisors, they knew there was no election fraud.
yeah.
And they were trying to make up
ev-
theories to match
yeah,
that it could be fraud.
yeah.
That's it.
We know what happened. We just don't have the evidence.
Well, they knew they lost the election. They didn't even believe that they won. They're just trying to make up stories.
Well, it depends on which of his advisors. Some of the advisors think he won,
Yeah.
but they're
The next episode, so Trump and his lawyer were putting pressure on Mike Pence.
You got to speed it up. You got 6 minutes, man. And
Okay.
you got tweets. I've seen your phone go on. You got tweets, man.
The tweets? Oh, I do have tweets.
See, I told you.
Look,
why,
Scott.
Why am I the one in charge of this show?
Oh, here's a good tweet we had from Scott Canaster.
Scott. Oh.
You know Scott Canaster.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Did you guys invent the term bunny ears for air quotes, or has that been around before?
I think I've heard it before. Bunny ears.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I ever called them that before.
Air
but-
quotes. You can always call them air quotes.
Yeah, that's what I was calling it.
Yeah, yeah.
And okay, so we did not.
I don't
invent
think
that.
I invented bunny ears.
Okay.
But of the two of us, apparently I'm the first one who said bunny ears because you call them air quotes. And I often call them air quotes as well. But this time I chose to call them bunny
I don't
ears.
call them air quotes. I just do this without saying what they
But
are.
if someone were to ask you,
Air quotes.
yeah,
That's what I would say.
sure. Hi, Scott.
He sent us 2 tweets.
Wow.
Let me try and get back to the first.
Scott also, you know, is a man
I'm
of
hearing
leisure.
no sound from John Wants Answers. I hope we fix that. Because he heard you say bunny ears.
Someone did, yes. Someone
Okay.
either fixed it. Maybe, was that from before 9:30? Like tweets have time.
22 minutes ago. What's going to the start of the show? We're running late. We got 5 minutes. Okay.
No. You got 1 minute.
So we were pressured. Pence was pressured.
Yes, he
By
was.
Trump.
Yes.
And in
And
a
he didn't cave.
strange,
And he didn't cave.
in a strange turn of events, Pence is coming out as the good guy here.
Well, let's not overextend the thing.
Better than most people we've seen. He
We've
stepped
seen
by
a
his
lot of
guns.
people.
He didn't want to do anything illegal. And he
Yeah.
didn't want to pick the president.
Yeah. Not that he was allowed to.
The next one we heard, all these election officials were
Yeah.
saying we got called and harassed by Trump
Yeah.
and his people.
Yeah, about how terrible he pushed
saying
back.
lie and say he won.
Yeah.
Like just
I just need
just
11,800
find
votes.
votes. And that I guess implies like make them up.
Well, find them.
Um,
I mean, you could find votes lots of places.
where do you keep your votes?
I've got a suitcase in my attic that I
Yeah?
take down to the registrar of voters after hours and dump into the bin and have them count it.
Oh,
Yeah, don't you do that?
no, I haven't done that yet.
Ah,
I was
and you
going to do it this year when we ran for governor.
sure, yeah. And
But then-
when you lost for governor,
Then my campaign manager dropped the ball.
yeah, he did. Yeah.
Val, lady.
Oh, you're right. You actually had a campaign manager.
Well, I had a campaign manager.
Yeah.
Next up, we saw an issue. What did we see next episode?
I don't know.
We saw top
You got 2 minutes.
Justice Department officials
Yeah.
say they told Trump and everybody
Over
else
and over.
who
Yeah,
would
yeah,
listen,
yeah, you lost.
no fraud, no fraud.
No fraud.
There's no evidence.
No fraud. Very, very tiny amount of fraud.
And the fraud was both ways, probably. Like I've heard.
Both ways, probably. Although most of the fraud that we've heard about are people that voted for Trump twice.
Yeah.
But that's not fraud because he was going to win anyway. And if you vote for the guy that wins, it's not fraudulent.
Really? Has that been
Everyone
tried?
does that.
Has it proven in court?
Well, court, you know.
Kangaroo court? Yeah, so Trump wanted the Justice Department to help legitimize his lies,
Yeah, he did.
to basically claim the election was corrupt.
Yeah.
And then he let the
As I understand,
GOP figure out the rest later.
Hugo Chavez, Italian satellites, Nest thermostats.
Nest thermostats, I
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah, Nest thermostats.
I'm going to tell you this, okay, America? The code I wrote in the Nest thermostat did not vote for Trump or anybody.
No,
I didn't put any voting code in the thermostat.
no.
And I don't know of any code in the thermostat that did any voting.
Probably not. No, I don't think thermostats are allowed to vote.
They're not 18 yet.
No,
This is like a new product. It's like
Yeah. It's barely
years
7
old.
years old. It's 1 minute left.
It's like
You
10
got
years
1
old.
minute.
1 minute. Well, other stuff happened.
Yeah,
and
there were-
Trump did not win the election,
Yeah, well,
and he knows it,
maybe.
and people are sorry for storming the Capitol.
Well, a few people.
A few people.
Yeah.
The spokesman for the oath takers,
A spokesman for the oath takers.
said, "I regret these people are crazy."
I was a bad person.
yeah,
I was naughty.
naughty. All right, well,
Credits.
apparently that's all the time we have now.
Yeah.
But we'll be seeing you next month
Will we?
for another fine episode. We will.
Okay.
You sound surprised.
Well, again, I don't watch the show, but it surprises me that it stays in the
People like the show very much.
do that.
It gets very good ratings.
I
I'm being told over and over
We got-
again how
we got
great
two-
the show is.